Hiya, got a lovely little clip coming up. Milo Yiannopoulos versus Jordan Peterson. It's a bit of a trick. I think Jordan Peterson was set up here really. I don't know how it happened, but there was a sort of like you get 1 minute to answer on a particular question on this sort of like question time type thing in Australia. I don't know how long they're going to let me nick this clip, but I've never done this before, so I'm stealing a clip off of Australian TV. But it's a little bit of gold actually. Milo corners Jordan Peterson about not living up to the sort of standards that he sets himself and he sets everybody else in his 12 rules for life. But and Milo's sort of like suffered greatly, much the same as Tommy and all this lot. He's been deplatformed and absolutely bankrupted, which is very, very, you know, painful to go through. But he'll come out the other side and he'll be stronger probably. Yeah, and he'll come, you know, because he's, you know, basically, you know, you all go through these ups and downs in life, don't you? But the one thing about Jordan, I mean, Big Bear, Owen Benjamin is sort of like really coming down on Jordan for actually it's the same thing that Milo asked him questions on, about not living up to the standards that he sets himself, and the Kavanagh thing and the Cavendish boys. He you know, the Kavanagh thing, he sort of like said that he thought Kavanagh should resign if he gets, or stand down if he gets through, which was basically guilty without due process, which really not really very good. I mean, but Jordan is human. We've forgotten that. We forgot that for a little while. Everybody, you know, got into Jordan, thought, oh well, you know, Jordan Peterson, you know, blah 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 blah. But Jordan is human, and the good thing about Jordan, because he called apparently, I don't know if I've seen the clip. I think I have actually, where Jordan sort of like called him and he says perhaps Milo is racist or something like that, which is not really Jordan's prerogative to say that really about anybody. Really, I mean, anybody who goes around calling anybody racist is you know, it's not really anybody's prerogative. Nobody knows what, you know, it's unless somebody comes out and says, look, I'm a freaking racist or something like that, then nobody else can really sort of say you're a racist because you do this, because basically it's a non-argument. It's a non-thing. But anyway, at least Jordan does apologise. Watch the clip and tell me what you think in the comments below. Cheers.
Hey Dr. Peterson, it's Milo Yiannopoulos. You talk a good game about standing up for men and for boys, and you've certainly amassed a big army of them. But a few of us have been wondering recently, with your silence on Kavanagh, your silence on the innocent Covington boys, and then when you've said things like, for instance, when you told the New York Times' Barry Weiss that you thought I might be a racist when you know I'm not, that perhaps your actions aren't matching your words. Can you explain why, although you talk a good game about standing up against social justice warriors and the chaotic feminine, that when it actually comes down to it, you always seem to either fold, stay silent, or betray your allies?
Jordan, is that live? Yeah. Haven't seen Milo for quite a long time.
So, on Q&A.
Well, first of all, I don't believe that I'm obliged to comment on absolutely everything that happens everywhere in the world. And I don't think that I am betraying my fundamental base. With regards to what happened with Barry and Milo. Milo, I'd probably just as soon apologize to you for that. I don't think that I did defend you very well at that particular time. I don't believe that you're a racist. It was a question that caught me off guard in an audience that was exceptionally hostile and surreal. And so insofar as that might be helpful to you, I'd offer you an apology for that. I don't think the rest of your accusations are are warranted, however. So that's what I'd like to say.
Do you see...
I did, by the way, also, Milo, invite you to talk, you know, about a year and a half ago when things first started to collapse around you, and we never did get around to that, and I don't believe that that was entirely my fault.
We're not going to hear back from him, just video, but nonetheless. Do you see him and people like him as being in some sort of competition online for the hearts and minds of young men in particular? Because he obviously sees it as a competition.
Well, I don't really see that I'm in competition with anybody particularly. I'm not trying to be in competition with anybody. And I'm also, by the way, not trying to talk to young men. I mean, one of the things, not specifically, I mean, I'm perfectly happy to be doing that. And by the way, they're not all that young. I think the average age is somewhere near 35. I'm trying to talk to people, and like as a university professor, 80% of my students approximately were women, and that was the case for 30 years, and at least 50% of my colleagues have been women, and there's been this idea generated in the news by news people who keep reading the news that other news people create, that somehow I have a coterie of angry young white men surrounding me because they're angry about feminism and about all these other isms, let's say, and I don't see it like that at all. I'm trying to suggest to people that their best bet in life, and this is men and women alike, is to adopt as much responsibility as they can for their own lives. And I went through this already because that's where the meaning in life is to be found. And the notion that that's somehow a message that's limited to young men it's an absurd message. Okay. Why would that be limited?
So what do you think? What I'd like to see is actually Milo and George sit down and have a chat together. That would be quite absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, that would be much fun. I think they could sort it out, and I think it'd be really good because people need not to be scrapping. They need to be working together and sort of like going through things together, not scrapping. It's really fucking boring when people on the same side start taking lumps out of each other. Anyway, good life, people, and put your comments in down below. That'd be interesting. Take care.